Hi loves, I'm back with another video. Today's video is actually very highly requested by people that I've ran into at the makeup aisle at a drugstore, family members, and people that are just starting off. So this is going to be a video on how to pretty much apply your makeup from start to end. I know that everybody does their makeup differently. Not everybody does their, foundation before their eyeshadow. Some people do the whole eyeshadow before the foundation. Just depends on the person. This is how I do it, how I've been, doing it pretty much for a while. Sometimes I tweak things around. Sometimes if I am doing a very dramatic eye, I kind of hold off on the foundation or I clean it a little more. There's so many different ways to do your makeup. But a lot of people have been asking me to create a video showing you guys step by step how I apply this or that. So this is kind of like a very friendly beginner video. I'm going to be inserting clips showing you guys options of things, and then I'll be showing you guys the one I'm actually using on my face. If you guys have been around my channel for a while, you guys know that I pretty much keep a very basic, neutral, very glowy, highlighted face. So you guys are going to be seeing how I created this look. It's just got my whole highlighter, my blush, my brows, my mascara, my foundation, and all that easy stuff that everybody wants to know how to do it. There's different ways you can apply these things on. There's different tools you can use. I will be showing you a few options here and there. You can tweak it, but this is just to kind of give you an idea if you are new to applying makeup or have questions. Like one of the questions that I was asked by the lady at the drugstore was, do I apply my concealer before or after? And that all depends. I personally like to apply my concealer if I am covering a blemish after my foundation, because I feel like if I go ahead and I dab it through and I apply, whatever concealer, liquid, whatever it is to cover the blemish, when I go through with my stipple brush or whatever, I feel like I'm wiping it off. So I like to apply my foundation, then I like to kind of touch up those areas that have blemishes or redness, and you guys will kind of see in the video. So if you guys are new and you guys are just starting out to do your makeup, or even if you've been around for a while and you just want to see what I did today to get this look, which is super easy, well, I guess let's get started. For an everyday use, I've been loving the City Color Primer because it's more on the affordable side. I love my Tarte. It is my holy grail, but it is a little pricey. If you guys are a bit oily, you guys can go ahead and pick up this Neutrogena Shine Control. Priming your face is going to help the foundation last and wear better throughout the day. Some primers also help minimize the appearance of pores. For foundation, you guys have options. If you want light coverage, you guys can go ahead and use a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer. Pond's is my go-to when it comes to BB creams. If you guys want more of a full to medium coverage, I would suggest picking up the Revlon Color Stay Foundation or the L'Oreal True Match, or you guys can also use a powder foundation if you guys are more on the oily side and like powder foundation. I love using the Real Technique brush to apply any kind of moussey foundation. I also love using the Expert Face Brush for any kind of liquidy foundation. I feel like it buffs it in. You guys can also take a damp beauty blender to kind of make everything a little more sheer onto the face. Here I'm taking my Chanel foundation on the back of my hand with my stipple brush, and I just pat it down, and then I just go ahead and dot it all over my face. You can also use your fingertip if that, works a little better for you guys. Make sure to blend everything evenly up into your hairline, down your jaw, down into your neck, because you guys want to make sure that the face is going to match your neck. That is one thing you have to make sure of, that you guys blend everything evenly throughout the whole face and down into the neck. To conceal or correct any imperfections, you guys can use these palettes here. Take a green concealer to remove redness. Use that salmon orangey color to take any kind of a bruise or dark eye under circle, and then just pat that in. This is my favorite. This is the MAC Pro Concealer palette, and you guys can mix those shades in there to kind of find the perfect shade for your face. I just pat mine on, never rub, because you guys are going to smear it out, and you just want to make sure that you use a patting motion when concealing something. Priming your eyes is also going to help. It's like kind of priming your face. It will make all the shadows last longer. You guys have the neutral shades here that you guys can just apply for a normal eyeshadow neutral color, Or you guys can take a white one to intensify pinks and purples and yellows or anything that's lettering you want to make pop. I go ahead and I take my neutral one on a daily basis with a little angled brush, and then I just go ahead and I brush it from the lid all the way up to the brow bone. It's totally up to you how you guys want to apply it, if it's just on the lid or all the way up. Depends on where you're putting your shadow. To warm up your eye crease, I usually use all three here. We have a contour palette, we have a bronzer, and eyeshadows. Just take a normal neutral shade that's a little darker than your eyelid to kind of buff it into your crease. You can literally use anything. I normally reach for that sunny little round bronzer there. But today I'm going to use the color Bamboo by MAC, or I usually go for MAC Soft Brown. Take a big fluffy brush and just do little circles and wiper motions back and forth to blend that color into the crease. This is going to warm the crease, give you a little dimension, and help all the other colors fall into transition for a better eyeshadow look. If you're just starting out, I would definitely suggest taking a highlighter. You guys can go ahead and take eyeshadows, but I just feel more comfortable for an everyday look to use a highlighter, something like this here. I just take that onto my lid and I pat it in with a flat concealer brush. You guys can get a little intimidated by those dark colors, so I would maybe start out with some highlighters. These are also going to give you a more awake look because they are glowy. After you're done patting this to the whole lid, go ahead and take a fluffy brush. Go ahead and go back and forth like little wiper motions to blend in that crease so that there's no harsh line from the lid into the crease. For my everyday, I'll normally use a more sheer highlighter for the brow bone as well, or you can just use a shadow one. This is, how I like to do it because it's very, very neutral. So just blend that into the brow bone. To brighten your eyes here, these are my favorite. It's the Rimmel Stay Matte, and then we have the MAC Pro Longwear, or you guys have options with the NYX HD, and then the next one is the Maybelline in the color Neutralizer. What you do is, this is to brighten your eyes and give you that Kim K look like everybody's obsessed with. So you just pat this underneath. You don't want to overdo it because it could make you look a little ghostly. It looks like a lot, but you guys will see when I'm done blending, it's not. So I take very little of the MAC Pro Longwear and I just pat that in right over that Rimmel Stay Matte, and then I'm going to just use the warmth of my finger to blend it all out. Take a damp beauty blender and then just go over the harsh lines and then just pounce the little beauty blender over it. Don't like smear it, don't rub it. You want to make sure that you're patting it so that it just blends it into the skin and it presses it in. Then use the other smaller side to go in the inner corner, smaller areas of your face. If you're oily, I would tell you guys, go ahead and set that concealer. This is the Anastasia little yellow banana looking powder. Ben Nye also has one, or you can use a sheer translucent one. I don't set it every day, but if you're oily, I would definitely do it. Contouring can be pretty scary, so I would definitely be careful with this here, or you guys can skip it. Take a powder, I would say powder, skip the liquid for now until you guys get better at it. I would take a powder color here that's about 2 shades darker than your face, and right underneath of your cheekbones where that hollow is, just blend it back and forth. You guys have to be very careful because if you don't blend this in right, it can look muddy and cakey and your face is going to look dirty. Make sure that you always buff your contour in really, really good to where it looks like a natural shadow, not a harsh line. You guys can also check out videos until you get more comfortable with that. So I take a stipple brush to always buff out my blush, my highlight, or my contour, as you guys can see. I go 2 different ways with highlighting. Here I'm using a cream or liquid highlighter for my cheekbone. So today I'm using the NARS liquid highlighter in the color Hot Sand, I believe, and I'm going to be putting this on the back of my hand. And first I take my finger and I just pat it on right on my cheekbone. I kind of smile so it makes it pop. I dab it on, then I take the brush and I blend it in and I pat it in and then just kind of go from like little strokes down. We're going to come back and do a little more highlighting, but that's going to sit there underneath. For blush, I always take 2 to 3 different colors. I'll take a matte and a shimmery one. So first I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a color on a regular fluffy kind of blush brush, and I'm just going to put that on the apples of my cheeks, and I'm going to blend it backwards and then kind of make like a little contour look. In between blushes, I always make sure that I stipple through so that everything is blending perfectly into the face with no harsh lines. So once I've stippled that in, I go ahead and I go in with the second shade, which will normally have a little bit of a shimmer or a highlight to it. And I apply this with a smaller brush, more of like, you guys can see it's a little smaller, and that just goes on the apples of my cheeks, and then I flick it very gently towards the back. Again, I go ahead and I'll take the stipple brush to make sure that that's blended in evenly, because remember, harsh lines are a no-no, ladies. Back to highlighting. You guys can either stick to just a cream one, a powder one, or both. I like to do both. So remember, we already went ahead and put that underneath. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking a powder one to kind of set that liquid highlighter we've already put under. If you guys don't want to put the liquid on, you guys can go ahead and just put the powder one on your cheekbones. I put it down the bridge of my nose, and then I put it right over my cupid's bow, which is right above my lip. And then I go ahead and I stipple that right into my face so that the blush and the highlighter are all blended together, and they look so beautiful and flawless with no harsh lines. For brows, you guys can use a pencil if you have more sparse brows. You guys can also use a gel liner if you guys have less hair, or if you have plenty of hair and just a couple little spots, you guys can use a powder. I like to use my pencil and my gel, and then sometimes I'll set it with my powder there. So here you guys will see a little quick demo on how I do them. You guys have probably seen my brows looking red here and there, and that's because I tattooed my eyebrows. They faded, and now they look red. I don't pencil my brows red, they just look red, unfortunately. So I would tell you guys, never tattoo your eyebrows. Never, never, never. It was like the biggest mistake ever. So taking little gentle strokes, I just go ahead and I fill and shape in my brow. Once you're done, just make sure you brush everything and apply a little bit of brow gel. For my mascara, I usually grab 2 to 3 different ones. I apply my telescopic, which is my holy grail because it's going to lengthen my lashes, and then I do another mascara or two to kind of fill them in and make them look a little fuller. Or you guys can just pop on some falsies if you guys are friendly, you know, with the whole false lash thing. I'm not, so I usually just cake my mascara on. You guys can see the difference of one eye with mascara and no mascara. To line your waterline, there's many colors, but the most often used ones are a black one or a nude one. The nude one's going to give you that wide awake look, and then the black one's just going to make everything look a little more intense and dramatic. Here I took the black one, and this is just my Chanel kohl liner, I believe. The other one was the Rimmel one, which is amazing, and you can pick it up at any drugstore. Go ahead and apply this to your waterline, and then also put it up on the top. You guys can skip this part or do it, it depends on your liking, but take a small pencil brush with a highlighter. I love taking that one that I used for my eyes and just pop a little bit of color right into the inner tear duct. This is going to make you look a little more awake and give you that little beautiful glow into the eyes, and it's just going to make everything pop. To set your makeup, you guys can use the MAC Fix Plus to give you more of a dewy look. Let's say you guys overdid it with the powder and you look cakey, spray that over your face and that'll fix it. If you guys want to seal everything and make sure it stays put, use the Urban Decay De-Slick or Model in a Bottle. Those two are my go-to. Take a sheer setting powder. I like to do this after I apply the face spray because I feel like it leaves a little shiny little film over my face. So what I do is I take a small stipple brush and I just pat this all over the T-zone area where I normally would get oily. Or you can do this all over your face depending on how oily you are. But I just like to do my T-zone here, and I just pat it in, as you can see. Lastly, for your lips, you guys can take a lipstick, a lip gloss, or you guys can go ahead and take your favorite liner and then line your lips and mix and match. It's totally up to you. Or you guys can stay neutral and take a lip balm. Here I just took my NYX and apple strudel, and I'm just putting this on my lips to complete the whole look. We're all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this and this was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.